My stepmother, Miss Evelyn, tried to make me give my fiancé to my stepsister, Clara. I said no. On the day I was supposed to get married, Miss Evelyn pulled off my wedding dress and cut my long hair. Clara used scissors to cut my face and then pushed me down the stairs. But they didn't know that my fiancé was actually a demon. When I woke up, both Clara and I were back in time, reborn. Miss Evelyn sent away the people who were helping me try on my wedding dress. Suddenly, the choker around my neck felt tight, and I pulled back without thinking. "Are you going to give up the marriage or not?" I heard Miss Evelyn's angry voice right behind me. I struggled to breathe and spoke in short sentences. "Aunt, it's not that I don't want to, but even if I did, he won't leave our family alone." Slap. Slap! My face hurt, and I could taste blood in my mouth. Clara rubbed her wrist and said, "You're lying. He clearly likes me. You're just holding on to him. You can't stand to see me happy." Miss Evelyn squeezed the choker tighter. "You little brat, it's just a man and you won't give him to your sister. I've taken care of you all these years for nothing." She pushed me to the floor and hit my head against the cold ground again and again. "Give up or not, you little witch!" Sitting on top of me, Miss Evelyn ripped off my wedding dress. She grabbed my long hair and cut it with scissors. Pain shot through my head as the scissors cut, and I felt blood running down my scalp. "Mom, let me do it," Clara said. She took the scissors, kicked me a few times, and turned my face up. She stepped hard on my chest and leaned down with the scissors. "You used this face to get him interested. Now I'm going to ruin it." Ah! The sharp pain on my face made me scream and tears streamed down. They only saw my fiancé's good looks and wealthy family, but they didn't know he was a demon. The first day he moved to my school, he started bothering me secretly. For years, no matter if I fought back or tried to get away, he wouldn't let me go. He even threatened my family to make me marry him. I didn't even have the right to end my own life. Having my face cut was almost a relief because it meant I wouldn't have to suffer anymore. But I didn't expect Clara to go crazy over that man. She pushed me towards the window, forcing my head outside. My fear of heights made me shake and panic. "Sis, it's your own fault if you fall," she said. The wind was loud in my ears, and I was terrified. I heard bones breaking, but strangely, it didn't hurt much. The smell of blood was strong, and I couldn't breathe. I weakly closed my eyes. When I opened them again, both Clara and I were reborn, back in time. Miss Evelyn had been the mistress of a rich businessman, and Clara was his child born outside of marriage. When the rich man died suddenly, my beautiful stepmother looked for a new husband while she was pregnant. My dad, a kind and wealthy man, ended up marrying her. I knew life wouldn't be easy when they moved into our house, but this time was different. I was reborn with a strong desire for revenge. When I saw Clara, I knew she had been reborn too. She didn't look panicked or awkward like the first time she came to our house. She looked at me like she was amused. I hid how I felt and greeted them carefully, just like I did in my past life. "Hello, Aunt," I said. "Hey, sis." My dad pulled me forward. "Lily, school is starting and Clara is moving to your class. You need to look out for her." I looked down and quietly agreed. Clara's eyes moved quickly. "Uncle, can I use your last name? Then you'll be my real dad." This was something she hadn't done in our past life. My dad rubbed his hands nervously and looked at Miss Evelyn. Clara winked at her mom. Even though she seemed confused, Miss Evelyn went along with it. "Jason, the child feels a connection with you. Let her have her wish." My dad, who always gave in to Miss Evelyn, agreed right away. "Uncle, I really like the name Lily. Can she give it to me?" Clara asked. My dad hesitated and looked at me. I understood what Clara was thinking. This semester, a new student would transfer to our class. It would be Damian, my fiancé, the one who had tormented me for years. He was obsessed with me because of my name. "Lily, I like your name," he had said. That name marked the beginning of my nightmare. In this life, Clara wanted that name. I was more than happy to give it away. She only knew that Damian came from a rich family and had been obsessed with me for years. But she didn't know that from the day he met me, he secretly made my life miserable. Even after I started working, he wouldn't leave me alone. He used my dad's life to force me to marry him. To Miss Evelyn, Damian seemed like the perfect son-in-law. Clara wanted him so much, she was willing to push me out the window on my wedding dress fitting day. Since she wanted him so badly, I decided to let her have him. I pulled on my dad's sleeve. Dad, if Sis likes it, she can have it. I'll just use the nickname Mom used to call me. Clara, afraid I would change my mind, immediately went to get the papers to change her name. Since we were both 18, changing the name was easy, and I did everything they asked. My dad tried to comfort me, saying I would always be his special daughter, and he would never forget my mom's last words. But his comfort didn't mean much. He was too simple and honest, easily influenced by Miss Evelyn, who soon controlled all our money. She was very good at pretending, making my dad think she was wonderful and believing both his wives were amazing women. I knew I could only rely on myself. Since I had a second chance at life, I would make the most of it. This time, I planned to protect myself. When the second semester of high school started, Clara and I had our new names. She was now Hetty. I was Nora, the nickname my mom gave me. Clara's introduction to the class was quite impressive. She had brought gifts for everyone, which helped her get their support. The homeroom teacher, Mr. Thompson, knew Clara was my stepsister, and in the last life, he had seated her next to me. This time, before he could say anything, Clara offered to sit in the back. Teacher, I'm tall, so I'll sit at the back so I don't block anyone's view during class. Mr. Thompson was happy to agree. There were 2 empty seats at the back, side by side. Clara chose the one on the right, but only I knew that Clara chose a seat in the back because Damian would be transferring in next week, and he would be in the left seat at the back. Since Clara joined my class, I became more quiet and kept to myself. I cut my hair even shorter and changed all my clothes, shoes, and school supplies to plain colors. I even got a pair of ugly glasses. I was already not very noticeable, and now I completely disappeared into the background. When Damian arrived, the class was buzzing with excitement. His expensive clothes and good looks made him stand out. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Damian sit exactly where I expected him to. From the moment he walked in until he sat down, I kept my head down, working on practice problems. Looking the way I did now, there was no way he would bother me again in this life. I heard Clara's cheerful voice from the back. Hello, Damian. I'm Hetty. I just transferred too. Please take care of me. You said your name is Hetty? I recognized Damian's voice right away, and it had that familiar, unfriendly tone. My heart skipped a beat. Damian, you just transferred, so you might not know. There was another Hetty in our class before. She's... Hey, classmate, Clara quickly interrupted. That was my sister's name to honor our late mother. Please don't bring up painful memories for her. The boy who spoke was embarrassed and stopped talking. I felt 2 pairs of eyes on me, but didn't dare look back. Then I heard Damian's low voice from the back. Hetty, nice. After school, Clara cornered me in the bedroom. She pushed me against the wall, looking at me from head to toe. Are you trying to get his attention by looking like this? I'm warning you, the name Hetty is mine, and so is Damian. Don't try anything sneaky. Looking like a tomboy, what else could she be worried about? I wished Damian would never notice me again. I'm Nora now, and I'll always be Nora. Clara seemed satisfied and let me go. She had no idea what was going to happen to her. This was Damian's 7th school transfer. He was quite well known among the high school students. On his first day, the school bullies tried to become friends with him, but Damian said he just wanted to study hard. What a joke. He also mentioned he was only interested in little things. Nobody knew what he meant by that, except for me. He liked to play with someone small and not important, like a cat playing with a mouse. The mouse was chosen randomly, like me back then. I was the unlucky one, stuck in his cruel games for years, so this time I had to make sure I wouldn't be his toy again. His words, Hetty, nice, bothered me for days, until I noticed Clara stopped coming home right after school. Then I realized he had targeted her. Lying on my bed, I breathed out slowly and pulled out a textbook. In the past life, I couldn't get the grades I wanted because of the constant torment. I regretted that. This time, I would fix those regrets. A quiet month passed. Clara became Damian's little follower. She still seemed confident. I was confused because Damian had never left me alone for a single day before. He loved to pull out a piece of my hair or cut my nails too short, which hurt. Even though he didn't smoke, he liked to light a cigarette and then press it against my arm. I stayed silent through the pain, and that only made him more excited. He forced me to swallow used cigarette butts. All his bullying was done secretly in places where no one could see. Nobody would believe that someone like him would pick on a weak girl like me. But this time, Damian didn't do anything bad to Clara. He even let her do whatever she wanted. Clara would talk every day about what she and Damian did. But soon, I would find out what he was really planning. One evening, Clara brought up Damian again at dinner. "Clara, you're still a student. Your main job should be studying. You can't—" My dad didn't finish before he was interrupted. Clara looked annoyed. "Dad, I've told you many times. I'm Hetty now, not Julia. Why do you keep getting it wrong?" My dad smiled awkwardly, rubbing his hands under the table. Actually, I knew he somewhat regretted letting me give my name to Clara. In this life, I would make him see what Miss Evelyn and Clara were really like. But for now, Miss Evelyn hadn't done anything too bad, so I had to wait. With a playful tone, Miss Evelyn turned to my dad. "Jason, she took your last name. That shows trust. Yet you can't even remember her name." "Mom, don't blame Dad. I know he's looking out for me. But this Damian, he's the oldest son of the Blackwood family, set to take over their business." Miss Evelyn never had a problem with Clara spending time with Damian. From a young age, she had prepared Clara to be a socialite, hoping she would marry into a rich family. Clara was not only beautiful, but also good at other things. "Sweetheart," Miss Evelyn said, "I heard that after Damian's dad passed away, he had a big fight with his family. Plus, he has a half-brother. Yes, the old man might have liked Damian more, but who knows how things will turn out?" Clara, with determination in her eyes, replied, "Mom, trust me. Damian will definitely inherit the company." Then she changed her tone. "But he never had a mom growing up, and now that his dad is gone too, he's fighting with his family. Poor thing. How about we let him move in with us so he can feel what it's like to have a family?" "Dad, you're so kind. You wouldn't say no, would you?" "No way, I'm against it," I quickly said before my dad could speak. No kidding. Clara thought she could just bring Damian into our house like she owned the place. "Listen, Jason," Miss Evelyn said, "Damian is not just anyone, and you don't want to stay just a factory manager forever, right? With the Blackwood family supporting you, your small company could become a big one very quickly. Besides, Damian is the future son-in-law I want. You should really think about this." Miss Evelyn's stare felt like it could cut through me, but I was firm. Damian was not moving in. "Dad, you're the head of the family. This is your decision. We have a clean house. How can we let a stranger move in?" I didn't want to make things difficult for my dad, but there was no way I was going to agree to this. Thinking about what happened in the past made me shiver. I couldn't fall into that trap again. "What's wrong with you, sis?" Clara asked. "I'm just helping a classmate who needs it. Don't you understand being kind? You talk like he's just some stranger when he's our classmate. Plus, Damian's situation is so sad. He's not talking to his family, has no money, and is struggling even to eat. We can afford to help him a little, and it's not like he's going to stay forever. The college entrance exams are next year. He'll be gone by then, right?" Miss Evelyn gave my dad a final statement. "Jason, how could you think that about my daughter? She's just being kind and helping a classmate. You keep saying I'm the lady of the house, but do you even see us as family? Maybe I should just take my daughter and leave." She got up, ready to walk out. I could tell by my dad's face that Miss Evelyn had won again. My dad was too simple and honest to be smarter than my clever stepmother. I controlled my anger. It's okay, I'll make sure my dad sees what they're really like soon. Damian was set up in the guest room upstairs in our house. He was well-behaved, mostly staying in his room to study and rarely coming downstairs. My dad kept his distance, and they didn't talk much. But Miss Evelyn? She treated him like the future son-in-law, taking care of everything he needed. Damian acted like this confused but arrogant guy, completely different from how he was at school. He and Clara were always together, with Miss Evelyn driving them everywhere. Meanwhile, I stuck to my usual routine, riding my electric bike to and from school. Damian hadn't said a word to me, acting like I didn't exist to him. Even though he was living in my family's house, we never ran into each other. I finally relaxed, realizing he had no interest in me this time. Soon, winter break started. Miss Evelyn and Clara went home to visit their family graves. My dad, who was now officially married to Miss Evelyn, went with them. I suggested Damian go back to his apartment for the break. For once, everyone in the family agreed, but Damian didn't want to. "Uncle, Aunt, don't worry," he said. "I'll just be upstairs reading. Aunt, you can just bring meals to me. I promise I won't bother Nora." Damian always kept up that innocent act at my house. Since our housekeeper was still around, my dad didn't argue anymore. They left, but I couldn't shake off the feeling that something wasn't right. I locked myself in my room, only coming out for meals. But something happened the day after my dad left. Early in the morning, after making breakfast, our housekeeper, Mrs. Gable, took off her apron and was about to leave. "Nora, there's a family problem I have to deal with at home," she said. "Your dad already knows. It's just for one day. I promise I'll be back by dinner tomorrow." She hurried out before I could say anything, leaving me with a feeling of unease. I looked upstairs. Everything was quiet. Maybe I was just worrying too much. With the housekeeper gone, my dad had told me to order food to be delivered, reminding me to get something for Damian, too. But I didn't want to have anything to do with him. I wasn't hungry anyway, and we had enough snacks at home. So I just didn't eat. Everything stayed quiet upstairs all day. As night came, I closed my books and went to the kitchen to get some hot water before bed. I walked quietly, not even putting on slippers, and didn't turn on the lights. As I reached the water tap, suddenly, click, the lights came on. Damian was leaning against the wall, watching me with a look of amusement. My cup fell, breaking on the floor. "Hetty!" I shook uncontrollably, grabbing a kitchen knife. "Damian, I'm warning you, don't try anything." His smile got bigger as he moved closer. "Aren't you the one who shouldn't try anything? With a knife in your hand, planning to stab me in the heart?" He even used 2 fingers to poke his chest hard. Gritting my teeth, I really did want to stab him right in his heart, but I couldn't, not now. "I'm just curious why you keep avoiding me. Have I ever done something to you? I feel like I know you somehow." He reached out, lightly touching the knife I was holding. I was furious and couldn't stand his mocking, superior look. Painful memories rushed back into my mind. Filled with a desire for revenge, I yelled, "Damian, I'll kill you!" I lunged at him with the knife, not caring that broken glass was cutting my feet. But I wasn't as strong as I thought. Damian quickly took the knife away from me. He held me tightly so I couldn't move. "Why do you hate me so much? Did we know each other before? I swear you seem familiar." He took off my glasses and said, "You know, you're pretty. Why make yourself look so plain? I heard you used to be called Hetty. Why would you give your own name to someone else? Don't you have your own personality?" I laughed quietly. He was really asking if I had my own personality? In my past life, he tormented me, called me his personal toy, someone who didn't deserve to have my own identity. I used all my strength and headbutted him. Damian was surprised and blood ran from his nose. Ignoring the pain in my foot, I ran back to my room and locked the door. "Hetty, can I call you Hetty? I think that name suits you better." Damian's voice was muffled behind the door. Leaning against it, I took deep breaths, feeling my nightmare coming back. I won't just wait and see what happens. I felt like if I could just avoid him, I could escape the horrors of the past. But now, that dark demon has found me again. I have to do something. Bad people should experience what they do to others. Only then can the cycle of evil be broken. What was even more unsettling was that I just noticed Damian rubbing his nose while he was thinking. He didn't used to do that. It started in my first year of work when I had a cat. One time, the cat got sick, and I took it to the vet instead of meeting Damian on time. He was so angry he killed my cat. I was heartbroken for a long time, wanting to die to escape Damian's control. He would copy the cat to try and make me feel better, even copying the way it rubbed its nose with its paw. That habit stayed with him. But just now, he did it without thinking. I suspected he might have been reborn too, but he acted like he didn't recognize me. Either way, I've decided to stop running away. If I want revenge, I have to be brave and take the first step. I made dumplings for Damian. I made the dough and the filling myself. Damian used to love it when I made these by hand. Only this time, I added a little something extra. I brought him the first bowl. He gave me a playful look but took it and ate. This taste is special, yet familiar. Oh, really? How familiar? He looked serious, a look he rarely had before. Hetty, for some reason, I feel like I should remember you. I remember everyone else clearly except you. All I have are these familiar feelings. It's a real shame. I narrowed my eyes, wondering, does he really remember everyone else? So he's not exactly the same Damian as before. Hetty, I don't want to hurt you. Why are you avoiding me? Did I hurt you in the past? Are you like me also? I looked down, knowing I had the information I needed. I don't understand what you're talking about. I just don't like men. I just purely dislike them. Except for my dad. Damian didn't know what to say. He finished the bowl of dumplings. Soon he was on the floor, struggling to breathe. Are there peanuts in here? I pretended to panic. I knew he was allergic to peanuts, so I didn't dare add too much, afraid he would taste it. Luckily, he loves sweets, and I added a lot of sugar, which hid the peanut taste. But that small amount wasn't enough to kill him. He got better pretty quickly. Damian, I'm sorry, I said with tears in my eyes. I didn't know you couldn't eat peanuts. Damian seemed flustered. I offered him a second bowl of dumplings. This one doesn't have peanuts. Try it. It's very sweet. Under my watchful eye, Damian ate the entire second bowl I made. This time, he ended up in the hospital. He went to a private hospital owned by the Blackwood family. Afterward, Damian was brought back to my house by Clara. Hetty, you really are something, he said. I used to be curious why you hated me so much. Now I don't want to know anymore. A bigger smile appeared on his face. Hetty, now I want to experience it myself. You can't get away anymore. I shook with anger, and tears filled my eyes. Damian seemed even more amused, reaching out with a thin hand to brush a piece of hair from my forehead. I lowered my head, not moving away. Clara saw it when she came over. She shooed Damian away and gave me a harsh look. I knew she was going to try and hurt me. That's what I was waiting for. Otherwise, how could she have seen that scene with Damian? Damian didn't tell Clara the real reason he ended up in the hospital. I know how he is. He doesn't want anyone to know. Otherwise, he wouldn't have gone to his family's hospital while he was still fighting with them. This nasty trick was something Miss Evelyn used on me in my past life. I learned from it, and I would use it again. Soon, I would turn it back on my stepmother. Clara watched Damian closely, yet he always found ways to come find me. The more I ignored him, the more he tried to get my attention. He would stand silently outside my room at night. Even through the door, I could feel he was there. After all, I know him too well, and his methods too. Only the second time he tried coming downstairs, he made a lot of noise. Damian tumbled down the stairs. Unfortunately, he didn't break an arm or a leg, just got some scrapes. But that was enough to make Clara worry. Why is there oil on the stairs? Clara dipped her fingers in and smelled it. This isn't cooking oil, sis. It's your blue gold oil. Exactly, my blue gold oil. And it's quite expensive. I used 5 whole bottles and it hurt my wallet a bit. Sis, why would you hurt Damian? Are you jealous of me so you want to ruin him? I also touched a little of the clean blue gold oil onto my hand, rubbing it in. Normally, I wouldn't use this much on my face. Sis, listen to what you're saying. I just accidentally spilled a tiny bit. Who knew Damian would come down in the middle of the night and slip? Sis, what were you doing on the stairs? Were you going upstairs? Clara had warned me a long time ago not to go near Damian. Upstairs was off limits for me. Sis, did you forget? This is my home. I can go wherever I want. Clara was furious, looking back at her mom. Don't bother looking at your mom. My dad owns this house now, and I'm the future owner. Do you really think I should make things easy for outsiders in my own house? Miss Evelyn looked angry, and my dad quickly tried to calm things down. The drama of the night ended, but everyone looked at me differently, including my dad. But soon, he would understand why I did it. To try and make things better in the family, Miss Evelyn cooked a big meal one weekend. She said it was to help us kids get ready for college entrance exams. She even made dumplings by hand. I walked up to her. Miss Evelyn, don't forget the filling. Nora, Miss Evelyn is great at making dumplings. There's no way she would forget the filling. I held out my hand. I mean this. In my hand were small pieces of thin metal blades. In my past life, Miss Evelyn had mixed them in the dumplings, causing me to end up in the hospital with a bleeding stomach right before exams. This time, I had planned to use them again. Before, Damian ended up in the hospital after eating my second bowl with the blades. I had fought back hard, which made him back off quite a bit. Miss Evelyn realized she had made a mistake, but didn't hide it anymore. Are you and Clara both reborn? No wonder Clara said you were smarter this time around. Miss Evelyn was clever, and this time the dumplings were clean. But I still ended up in the hospital after eating them. Lying in a hospital bed, I looked pale. I cried to my dad, "Dad, can't you see how selfish Miss Evelyn is? You treat her daughter like your own, but look how she treats yours." "Dad, I miss Mom." I cried loudly, truly missing my mother. "Dad, do you still not believe what Miss Evelyn and Claire have done to me? Look at this." I paid some money to someone to create a video that looked real, showing the conversation between my stepmother and me. My dad was angry, but also embarrassed after watching it. "Dad, Miss Evelyn doesn't really care about you. She's only looking for a rich life, and you were just the best way for her to get it at the time. Now that Clara has Damian, Miss Evelyn's heart isn't with you anymore." I was telling the truth. Miss Evelyn had another man on the side, who was richer than my dad, but she hadn't divorced yet. She planned to tell everyone everything the day that man got divorced. I gave my dad some hints, and he would check them himself. He's a straightforward guy, but he's also a man. What man could accept being betrayed by his partner? Especially now that I was in the hospital. Miss Evelyn said she didn't hurt me, swearing to my dad that I did it myself by putting the blades in the dumplings. I had never seen my dad so disappointed before. I knew this time I had won, even though it cost a lot for both sides. But in my dad's mind, Miss Evelyn wasn't the kind woman anymore. I wasn't planning to let her off easily. I planned to give proof of her affair with the rich old man to his wife. "I'll help you with that." Damian appeared behind me out of nowhere. I quickly hid the evidence. "Do you really have to do that? That man's wife is known for being tough, and she'll see you as a competitor too. Trust me, it will go more smoothly if I handle it." "Damian, you're not usually this helpful. What do you want in return?" Damian narrowed his eyes. "Hetty, you do seem to know me. I know what you're planning, but please don't go after Clara." "Hetty, leave Clara to me." Does he have a reason to want to hurt Clara? My target was Miss Evelyn for now, then him. I wasn't in a hurry to get Clara. I wanted to see what he had planned for her. Soon enough, Miss Evelyn's bad reputation spread among the people they knew. Everyone knew she failed to get an old man and even got beaten up by his wife, which caused her to lose her baby. She hid at home, begging my dad to forgive her. She used the excuse that she was a pregnant mother, claiming the baby was my dad's. The baby's father couldn't be tested since she lost it. But with me pushing him, my dad didn't forgive her. He said they would leave after Clara's exams once she got better. Miss Evelyn's reputation was ruined. Finding another rich man was hard. Her hopes now depended on Clara. In the past life, everyone thought I got Damian because I was innocent. But that was just a trap he set for me, keeping me stuck. This time, Miss Evelyn wanted Clara to use innocence to keep Damian. Of course, I would go along with it. Miss Evelyn prepared some special drinks for Damian and Clara. I added a bit more of what I took from her secret stash. I secretly hid a phone in Clara's room with the camera recording. I didn't dare watch it live, it was too much. Late at night, their noise was very loud, and I blushed as I covered my ears. My dad was conveniently taken out by Miss Evelyn. I locked my door tightly, waiting for things to end. But as the noises continued, someone knocked on my door. Who could it be? Did my dad come back? He would have gone straight to Clara's room if he was home. Standing at the door, I heard a familiar voice. "Hetty, it's me." It was Damian. So, if Damian was outside my door, who was with Clara? It turned out we had all been tricked by Damian. I checked my phone, and the video was very clear. Two bodies were tangled together, unable to be separated, and the man with the big stomach was definitely not Damian. Hetty, keep what happened today a secret from me. In return, I promise to do one thing for you. You have my word. Perfect. This deal just made my plans for revenge more interesting. It's time to get back at him for everything from my past life. I agreed to Damian's terms. In the past, Clara tried to trap me with some mean tricks, but she didn't succeed. Still, it left a scar on my heart, but in this life, she finally faced the results of her actions, and I played a part in it. When my stepmother came back and saw the mess, she was even happier than Clara. Her eyes looked soft when she looked at Damian, and she immediately suggested he and Clara should get engaged. Then they moved back into the Blackwood family mansion. She promised to help Damian get back control of the family business. But surprisingly, Damian turned against them right then, making fun of Clara for being shameless. He also said that the Blackwood family would never allow a woman like Clara in. Miss Evelyn then went to the head of the Blackwood family on his birthday, demanding a marriage. But Damian refused to say there was any engagement, and the Blackwood family was ready to see what would happen. Just then, Damian showed a video from that day, leaving Miss Evelyn and Clara completely shocked. Even more shocked was the large man who was there. Clara truly wanted to marry into a rich family, but her feelings for Damian were also real. She was so shocked that she ran out, slipped at the worst possible moment, and fell onto the expensive blue oil, tumbling down the platform. She didn't die from the fall, but her face hit a ground sprinkler, which went right through it. Clara's face was disfigured. She couldn't handle what happened and went crazy. With such a scandalous event happening at my house, my father naturally wouldn't let my stepmother stay. I secretly told the tough woman who had dealt with her before, saying my stepmother was homeless and trying to find rich old men again. Without my father protecting her, the tough woman beat her up again. Miss Evelyn had depended on men all those years. Now, without anyone to rely on, and with bills to pay for Clara's treatment, she ended up back in the red light district, doing what she knew best. But at her age, she only found greasy old men. Those guys had some money, but they were very stingy. To get more money out of them, she would have to pay a higher price herself. Damian moved back to his apartment, too. Before leaving, he came to me and asked, "Hetty, how many secrets do you have that I don't know about?" My only secret is that I've lived once before. It's like having a cheat sheet for getting revenge. Hetty, how did you know the man in Clara's room was my uncle? How did you guess what I would do next and tell my uncle beforehand so he would be ready for me? Do you hate me so much that you want to ruin everything I have? In the past life, Damian took advantage of his uncle's bad behavior, setting him up and getting him kicked out of the Blackwood family. But I didn't expect him to involve Clara this time. I have reasons for hating Damian. But why did he hate Clara so much? Did something happen in the past life that I didn't know about? Damian didn't defeat his uncle this time, but he didn't seem to care much. Damian, you still owe me a promise. I plan to use Damian one more time to deliver a final blow to Clara. I haven't gotten revenge for her causing my death in the past life yet. In the hospital room, Clara was much better. When she saw Damian behind me, her hateful look turned into a look of pure sadness. Damian, I truly love you. That night, I thought it was you. I didn't know it would be your uncle. I whispered in Clara's ear, Clara, even if you change your name to Hetty, you'll never get Damian. Now, he's mine. Clara, so what if you're reborn? So am I. This time, I'll make sure you all pay, including Damian. I'll make his life a living hell, and you can only watch, unable to do anything. Clara became wild and started choking me. Damian stepped forward and kicked her away. Hetty, are you all right? Damian's concern made Clara even more frantic. Damian, I am the real Hetty. She's Nora. She's reborn too. After she ruined me, she's going to ruin you, Damian. Believe me. I loved you in our last life, and I love you now. You have to trust me. The doctor came in just in time to hear Clara's words. I saw him shake his head with frustration. I had already paid a large amount of money for Clara's hospital bills in advance. Even though she was almost ready to leave, she would have to stay until all that money was used up. and I would make sure to keep adding more regularly. As we left the hospital, Damian grabbed my arm and looked at me seriously. Hetty, I knew you had secrets too. It turned out that Damian was reborn with some of his memories still there. In his past life, his biological mother was confronted by a mistress his father had been supporting, who came with her child. At that time, Damian was studying abroad. The mistress's child, who was younger, secretly switched his mother's medicine that was keeping her alive, which led to her death. That child never faced any consequences. In this life, Damian found out who the child was and intentionally transferred to her class once she became an adult. The person he wanted revenge on was Clara. Hetty, we knew each other before, right? If I ever hurt you, I'm sorry. He definitely owed me an apology. But not just to me. It was to all the classmates he had bullied. Hetty, why can't I seem to remember you? Stop avoiding me and give me a chance to get to know you again, all right? I suddenly realized things were getting more interesting. Ruining Damian's life wouldn't be enough to make up for the pain I had suffered back then. I wanted him to feel even deeper pain. I laughed softly, smiling at him for the first time. Damian, how about you marry me?